Welcome to another podcast of the current situation, Manchester United. Manchester United will be playing against Newcastle tomorrow. I thought it was actually Spurs because there were people talking about Manchester United, go play Spurs and Spurs versus Manchester United versus Spurs. I thought that Man United would actually play the game either before Newcastle or if they go play against Newcastle tomorrow at Old Trafford, immediately then go play against Spurs. That's how people talking about the game. And when we have Spurs, I think we're playing Spurs that same week. And we have EuroLeague that same week. I think next week or so. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't see what people are talking about Man United versus Spurs now. We have a game tomorrow. Tomorrow game is very important. Newcastle is in form right now. Is me and I mean, the big money signing striker, I haven't seen Spurs play, but best believe that they have something up them sleeve tomorrow come at Old Trafford because with the way how they went about their summer transfer windows and the way how they're transitioning as a team to become like an elite top club. Of course, it's not written in stone right now that they're a top elite club, but that's their foresight, is me. That's how they want to see themselves in the future, in the foreseeable future. If City can do it, Newcastle can do it. If PSG can do it, Newcastle can do it. So tomorrow is going to be. We shouldn't write off tomorrow's game. I'm not saying that Newcastle. We should treat Newcastle as if it's Man City itself, but this is a game we shouldn't write off or sniff our nose at. Because see, I know that we are in our transitional period of becoming good or getting better, but we just can't treat tomorrow's game against Newcastle as if it's a game that we have it's like we have 3 points already in the bag, so we don't have to look forward to two. No, I mean that's some persons thought that against Brighton this season we lost against Brighton. We allowed them to look like Bayern Munich, and we lost against Brentford, and we allowed them to look like Barcelona. So we shouldn't be like deeming down on these clubs because they're small in stature. I mean, David killed Goliath, didn't he? So we shouldn't be taking this game against Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle was always a decent club anyway, but we shouldn't be taking tomorrow's game in the slightest. Man, fuck. Last season we played against Newcastle at Old Trafford, and your boy Cristiano Ronaldo returned, the prodigal son returned. And no better way to come back to all his home other than to get a brace. My man, he got a brace on his return to Old Trafford. A lot of things have happened ever since. A lot of things have ever happened ever since. But yeah, that game was a very good return for Ronaldo. I have a few housekeeping notes I want to keep afloat in this video. Before I get into the meat of the matter of this video, because I must save it for later. But Manchester United ready to pounce on Inter Milan's Denzel Dumfries. I was about to say Denzel Dumfries. I've seen this dude play. Which club he used to play for again before I went to Inter Milan? I think it was PSV. I think either PSV or I know he plays. He's a Netherlands international player, but I think he used to play for PSV or something. Yeah, he's a solid right back. He's built. He's built like a brick in Bristol City. He has pace. He has tenacity. He can tackle. Again, I haven't seen this guy play much, but I've seen him in a few matches, particularly when it's international break, if I have the time to watch. But I've seen a small amount of him, but I can tell that he's a good right back. Him at Manchester United, I mean, Ten Hag doesn't want right now. Eric Ten Hag does not want. I think I'm hearing some sound. Give me a second. Yeah, right now. Okay, Eric Ten Hag right now is not he's not feeling Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the slightest in terms of starting him in the starting level. I've said this. Wan-Bissaka doesn't have the makings for what it takes to start as a right back under Eric Ten Hag. He doesn't have the feet. He doesn't have he doesn't have the quality. He doesn't have the feet to meet the expectations or the requirements as a starting right back. We have seen how this dude was in COVID, man. I think we're playing against Sheffield United at Old Trafford and the stadium was empty. This Bridgen thought he was Roberto Carlos. This dude was doing a chop inside and he almost got chip over the ball. So say if a dude go do that, he can be signed for Manchester United. Definitely under a manager that is all about possession base. He wants his players to keep possession. You see me? So Wan-Bissaka, this is not a racial thing for persons thinking that he's not starting Wan-Bissaka because Wan-Bissaka is black. Everything starts Rashford, everything starts Martial, everything starts Varane. I mean, Varane is not black like me, but my man he has some color. He's a man of color. He's a man of color. Who else? Sancho is a man of color. And anyway, so that's not it. That's not even in that. So now it's not a racial thing of not starting Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka is not good enough to be starting at right back. Period. So back to this Bridgen, who is a black right back for Inter Milan. He would be a good signing, but we have Dalot right now who is doing decent at right back. Decent enough to be starting. Why are you going to be signing this Bridgen that's going not only he's going to demand the starting football, so he's not going to just come and lay low on the bench. So and Dalot wants his games. Dalot has been here since 2018, 4 years. So Dalot wants games. He needs games to, develop as a player. You don't develop as a player from the bench, which leads me into the next news. That's regarding. Give me a second. Man United move has not gone well for 35 mil start Old Trafford. First of all, why are you considering him a star? A star doesn't start from the bench. Yes, so Donny van de Beek, I guess it took him a while to come to terms that this move to Manchester United is not working for him, even under his former manager at Ajax. Persons thought that, everything had been at Manchester United, seeing that they used to have a relationship. A work-play relationship, I'm not talking about on the other side of the fence relationship, where he starts as a player for Eric Ten Hag at Ajax. People think that's going to be translated to Manchester United, so he's going to be the player that he once was at Ajax. It's not, I don't think my man is going to, he's not demanding, he's not a demanding player, but because all you as a player is going to be held on the bench for this long enough not to really have a say. You're getting your money per week, don't get it twisted, but if you wanted to actually play, bro, you could have a say, I want to get some games. I know I'm not up to my best, I know I'm not playing at the optimum level, but I want to get my game still. This Bridgen has been quiet, man. And I don't think he's going to cut the cake for Manchester United. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's a technically trash player. He's very technical. Like, he can play in different roles in the midfield, from a number 6, number 8, which he should be. That's the position he should be starting. He's a number 8 box to box. He can play as a number 10. He can play as a false 9. So he's very versatile. He's from Ajax. So say when you're born in Ajax football, the one position is not made for you. So he knows that, man, he knows a thing or two about, positions in midfield. He can actually play in those positions as he's actually played in those positions. I'm getting notification on my PC screen. So I move for him, bro. It will be good. Oh, he's out with an injury. Well, I mean, he wouldn't start anyway if he didn't have no injury. But a move for him would prove beneficial for both parties. For Manchester United, because we're getting more money, and we're offloading a placeholder that has no value. He's not starting for Manchester United. We signed this bridging 2 years ago. He hasn't started much games. Comment down below, man. I want to hear what you guys have to say on this play. Do you want to sell Danny Van de Beek? See him leave Manchester United, the confinements and of Manchester. Do you want him to just leave the premises and properties of Manchester United? Comment below. So yeah, man, I don't want to see no. I don't want to see no. If Danny Van de Beek wants to have, if Danny V, man, I can't even talk. If Danny Van de Beek has any respect of himself and of his footballing career, he should go to a place where he get football. Probably go back to Ajax. Speaking of prodigal son, be a prodigal son and go back to Ajax. The father that had you doesn't want to anymore. My man is just cutting that cord from you. He doesn't want that Manchester United. Yes, you guys had a good relationship at Ajax, but my man is saying, no, man, things are different. He has a raspy voice, You're not going to start at Manchester United, that's at Ajax, so, things are different at Ajax, and it's the Premier League. It's competitive, it's aggressive, and it's combative, so I don't believe you have the capabilities to be starting Premier League. That could have been the case, but, I mean, I don't mind him on the bench, but he's just wasting space right now. My man is like a zero placeholder, and even a zero has some value to it if you put it on if you put it behind a number. But I just want the dude to just respect himself and get football and go elsewhere. I think that's best for both parties. Now, in the preview of Manchester United versus Newcastle, as I mentioned earlier in this video, this game against Newcastle is important. Not that it's a final, a European final, but in terms of we have developed it, but in terms of sustaining and maintaining momentum within the squad, we need to keep winning games, man. Also, we've been implementing a system. We want to continue this system. So we want to win games as well through that system. So tomorrow's game against Newcastle, we have to grab 3 points. We don't have to necessarily trash them, although I wouldn't mind, trashing Newcastle, but right now we just need to get 3 points, play well, get some goals, players play well on some form, move on to the Spurs game. That's if we're playing Spurs after the Newcastle game. We have to go deep in the table. We are 2 goals. We have a negative 2 goal difference, man, and we're just in 5th place. So Chelsea is looking to gain top spot in the table from Arsenal and Man City. Spurs is on a mad thing. They won against Everton today 2-0. So yes, man, we have to continue winning our games. This is the starting lineup I'm going with. David here in the goal. Dalot at right back. Continue with the Lissandro and Varane partnership. That's working. Wait, is Varane injured? Hold on. Let me go check if Varane is injured. Because if he's injured, Varane. He has a that was. Hold on there. As if Varane is injured, then unfortunately we have to start a player that we all don't want to start, and we know who that is. Well, we have Lindelof. Lindelof is a good shout. Lindelof and Lisandro Martinez can do a thing at the back. So I would mind is for they ain't giving me the man life story. Bro, I want to know if the dude's injured or not. What are you giving me the man life story for? Yeah, so I just want to know if he's injured. Hold on. I want to know if Varane is okay. I'll say this. If Varane is not injured, then Varane starts. If Varane is injured, I'll go with Victor Lindelof. Left back is Malacia. Luke Shaw Luke Shaw wasn't really in the books of everything always started against Everton, but it's best to start Malacia left back. In midfield is Christian Eriksen with Casemiro. Of course, we all know that Christian Eriksen is playing higher in the double pivot than Casemiro. So I'm going with Casemiro, who got man of the match against Everton last week, and I'm going with Christian Eriksen in the midfield. As the number 10 is Bruno Fernandes, and the right wing is Anthony. As the striker is Rashford, because Martial is injured, and on the left wing is Jadon Sancho. Leave your starting 11s in the comment section. No, not starting 11s, but well, you can leave your starting 11s in the comment section, but more so, leave your scoring prediction. My score prediction is that we beat Spurs. See, I'm thinking about the Spurs game, and I shouldn't even be thinking about the Spurs game. My prediction against Newcastle is that we beat Newcastle. My prediction is that we beat Newcastle by. I can go with 3-0. 3-0. It's not much I'm asking for. 3-0. Just a 3-0 victory. I have a clean sheet, 3 good goals scored. We're going back. We're advancing the table slowly but surely, coming out of this negative goal difference. Yeah, man. Yeah. So leave your scoring predictions down below in the comment section. Now, I was going through my phone as I usually do, and something came up regarding the current state of the Mason Greenwood case, and it's been made clear to me that Mason Greenwood has been found not found guilty. That's a lie. That he's been charged. So I'm not going to demonize his name and say invalid claims on his name, but he's been charged with the Let me go pull it up because I don't want to be talking foolishness and misquoting. Give me a second. Mason Greenwood of Manchester United has been charged. Give me a second. Mason Greenwood. Why is this thing not typing? I don't have time today, bro. Mason Greenwood. Okay, so Mason Greenwood has been charged with attempt rape. Man, why is it dark? Yeah, so it's because my Twitter is I put the edit on Twitter that it's dark and stuff. So that's why it's dark. But it says here that Mason Greenwood has been charged with attempt rape, engaging in controlling and coercive behavior, and assault, occasionally actual bodily harm, the Crown Prosecution Service said. Manchester United notes that criminal charges have been brought against Mason Greenwood by the Crown Prosecution Services. He remains suspended by the club pending the outcome of the judicial process. I did a video early. Hold on, let me put this back on the live switch so you guys can see my black beautiful face. Right, like that. I did a video earlier this year where I said that Mason Greenwood is no different than the men. No, let me go look up that video, man. I'm doing a lot of lookups tonight, man. I did a video early this year. See it here, so. This is the video I did early this year, and it's entitled Mason Greenwood's Act to Harriet Robson, which was his girlfriend, shows why men want women to be like they were in the 1960s. This was in reference to history of how men operated with them wives or girlfriends under them household. Cause see, not to give you guys a history lesson, although when I did that video, that video was like my third or second most viewed ever video on my YouTube channel. And of course, my YouTube channel is as small as a pebble on a rockstone, so it's not big. But how I see, given the stature of my small channel, I deem it as a big video because I got 146 views and I think 1 or 2 likes. That video, I basically gave a brief synopsis of how men operated back in the day when it came on to women and how they dealt with their women. So this Mason Greenwood act to Harriet Robson is not new on the block. That's been happening since I would even say before the 60s and even after the 60s. Why think you're okay? For you guys that are not Man United, well, I don't expect Man United, not Man United, I'm not expecting, man, I can't even talk. I'm going to give you a synopsis of the video I did, but I'm going to try link it in one of these corners so you guys can watch it. It's kind of lengthy, but it's muchly needed, particularly if you're a guy. I basically said this in my video. I said, out of guys, not to generalize and say all guys, but there's a good portion of guys in today's society that has an entitled mentality. They believe that women, are like under them shoe and basically can do anything they want to do, man, without her consent. Like in this context of Mason Greenwood, we all know what Mason Greenwood did to his girlfriend, man. Attempt rape. I think this was on 3 charges. Yeah, it was on 3 charges. So my man didn't just do this one time. He didn't do this 2 times. He did it 3. Well, based on no, it said 3. Could have been more than 3, but it's stated as 3. Yeah, man, a good amount of guys, they have an entitled mentality as if women are supposed to just have the mouth shut and the man can do anything he wants to the woman without her having a say on it. That's how things were back in the day. Ask your grandfather. If he's not dead, ask your grandfather or your great-grandfather. Or if you want to ask your grandmother, go ahead and ask your grandmother or ask your great-grandmother if she's not dead. They'll tell you how men were back in the day. Dude, why think you have all these movements in today's society? You have the Me Too movement, you have feminism, you have 4 waves of feminism now. The first wave came about, I think it was in the early 60s. No, the first wave came about in the early 70s. Yeah. First wave was about equal payment. Second wave was about having same gender roles with other men, as also in relation to sex accusations, because there were some female secretaries or female female subordinates that were below them bosses, and the bosses back in the day can literally have their way with them female secretaries, and their secretaries wouldn't like say a word about it. Why they wouldn't say a word about it is because of a couple reasons. One, they didn't want to lose. See, jobs for females were rare back then. You have to understand. So if a female get a job, she go kiss her good luck star on that. So if a man go do anything he wants to do, man, she's going to allow it. Although she doesn't like it, is that she enjoys it, but she knows that if she go talk on it, she go lose her job and she ain't go get no money. Secondly, she knows that if she go speak on it, she may keep her job, but more workload will be added to it. So she didn't want none of that. So the fact is, if my man had his way with this woman, her workload will decrease and her pay will increase. So she didn't want to mess up that. It's like an anti, one decrease, one increase at the same time. So she didn't want to mess that up, although she may not like it. And she may have a husband, but she ain't going to tell her husband, because she wants to have that money. She doesn't want to heavily depend and rely on her husband for money. because things were becoming less traditional, where the man was like the breadwinner and get everything, and the wife was the stay-at-home mother. She take care of the kids. She dealt with the pups at home. She wasn't like the person that went out and made the money or made the bread, but she would bake the bread instead for her husband that was working. So that was the thing back then. But see now, since the 70s, things been changing. So anyway, that's relation to the second wave. Another thing is that women didn't want to submit to guys who they think that were just creepy or whatever. Cause see, man, this is another topic. But I'm gonna say this real quick and just concentrate on Mason Greenwood. One reason why we have feminism, because a lot of women didn't want to submit to guys that were in higher power than them, that were creepy and cringy. They didn't want to submit to guys like that. On the flip side, there were guys that, were more appealing in their eyes. And those guys, could do what they want with those women, but those women allow those guys to get away with it. Although it's not ethical, they allow them to get away with it. You see me? So anyway, on the third wave of feminism is now the Me Too movement, where basically women are coming out of the woodworks. Because see, before the third wave, I think that came about in 2012. Before the third wave, before Me Too movement, much women were not talking about their past history of guys that assaulted them or raped them. That was kept under the ropes. Cause hey bitch, if you say a word, I'm gonna put 2 bullets in your head, I'm gonna blow it off. I'm gonna blow it off. So women didn't say much on it. But it's like that domino effect or that snowball effect, When one woman talk on it, all women want to talk on it now. Because one woman, has the cojones to come out and say, see that Bridget 20 years ago, him raped me, Yeah man, him did have his way with me. I didn't want to say anything because, him did trick me and thing, but you see, right now I have my security and I know that society has my back. So I can talk on it and I can speak that fact. So yeah, like when one woman come out with these accusations, other women slowly but surely came out with these accusations. You see? So with Mason Greenwood, I'm saying this is not new, and again, it's more, I mentioned this more in detail in the video I did earlier this year of Mason Greenwood's actor Harriet Robson. Is not different than guys operated to women in the 1960s and even before the 1960s. Because see, back in the day, as a woman, you didn't have much say. You didn't have much say. The most you could do was sing in a church and beat tambourine. I've mentioned that before. If you're a female and you went to church, you weren't going to be no pastor. You couldn't read the scriptures. I don't even think you could have prayed. Maybe you could have prayed, but the most you would do is sing, beat tambourine, move about in church. That's it. But when it comes down to like a power position, you were like forbidden as a woman back in the day. From that, you wouldn't do none of that. And even bringing this back to the house, a woman wasn't. Dude, I'm telling you, ask your grandmother or ask your mother if she's old enough to remember how things were back in the day. As things were bleak for a woman back in the day. Couldn't get no job, couldn't get no pay, had to rely on her husband. A man could basically have his way with you. And see, the reason why a lot of guys abused the woman back in the day was because it was not against the constitutional law back then. So it was unethical against God himself, but it was not against the law. It was not against the law. It was not written on a piece of paper saying, okay, any man that abuses women physically is going to serve time in prison. It was not against the law. No, it was unethical, it was immoral, but it was not against the law. So they excused it. So a man could literally box his wife if she got out of pocket or she got out of order or she was like smart, like trying to cuss him or diss him or so. Could just as some persons from church would say, would give her the right hand in fellowship, the right hand boxing her in her face. Some person would actually dude, guys would actually get the green light from society to do that. Again, it was that written in the law, so it wasn't against the law. Again, it wasn't good, but it wasn't against law. So you would get a green light to actually do that to a woman. Because as a woman, your status was actually 6'6" in the ground. It was that low. Secondly, a man could just get sex whenever he wanted without getting consent from his wife. So if he go come home after a long heavy day in the sun, if he's a plantation worker, or he just come home from work, and it's kind of ironic, huh? My man is tired, but he wants sex at the same time. I mean, you have to put in some work to get the sex good, but that's a difference. So we go tackle. But yeah, some guys would literally impose themselves on them own women and just get sex without saying, "Hey babe, come here, come sit on my lap. Let's make some love tonight, huh?" And they won't get no consent from the woman. Like the woman would say, "Yo, come here, so bend over, put your face in a pillow over there, so I'm dude." Some of you guys may think it's fun. I'm being serious. Some men would literally grab the hand of them woman and just have them way with it. As some brethren would say, take the pussy like that. Like just take it without no consent. So this is not new by any stretch. Guys would actually do that to them girlfriend and wife. Now I mentioned this in the video that I did earlier this year. I said it's funny because some women actually like that. If you guys are in the know, you know what I'm talking about. Some women actually like when a man just grab the man and say, "Yo, shut up your mouth and turn around." Some women actually like that. So they may not say publicly because they don't want the reputation to be tarnished as these masochistic, low esteem females. But some women actually like that. They like when a man say, "Yo, come here, so," and grab them physically. It's a thin line. It's a very thin line. Because some women have that kink and fantasy of a man, dominating them physically without them consent. But it's a thin line. It's a thin line. Dude, trust me, it's a thin line. I'm not even talking about with our new female you just met. I'm talking about a wife and a girlfriend of yours like Mason with this chick. Just because let me say this. I said no man is entitled to getting sex from his wife or girlfriend. Let me say that again. No man is entitled to getting sex from his wife and girlfriend without her consent. Let me just add in that. Without her consent. This is not the 1960s no more where you can just get sex from a woman without having her consent. A woman has to give you not just consent, verbal consent. The laws are changing now in the favor of women in terms of this rape allegations and sex accusation. So you have to be vocal verbally with your interests or whatever. So if you, like I said, bro, this is a thin line. Because again, some women I don't want to be long, but I'm gonna say this, man. Again, some of you guys already know, so you guys who know what I'm talking about. Some women go think you're a weak wimp if you go ask for sex. Some women go think that you're a weak wimp if you say, "Hey baby, can we have sex?" Well, I don't even ask like that, but some guys actually do that, and some women just for some women that's gonna turn them off. For some women, if you go say, "Hey, is it good that we have sex tonight? I know that your schedule is kind of tight, but I mean we're a couple, right? So we have to have some sex sometime, right?" Dude, I'm telling you, it's a thin line. Man, it's notification. It's a thin line you're walking on. Some women actually like when a man just grab and say, "Hey." So some women just want a man to grab it and take it without them consent. Again, there are a lot of women like this, but they're not over it, so you're not going to notice them just like that, because they're very wary of the thoughts of persons as to how they actually get down behind closed doors. So they're not going to say that in public, of wanting a man to come just in them house and rape them and just have them way like that. But there's some women that love that. But on the flip side, given how society is right now, you have to consent and you have to, have a verbal agreement in order to have sex. I'll say this, man. If you guys want to, have your freedom in society and abstain and refrain yourself from being in Mason Greenwood's position, I'm not saying you have to be a wimp, Don't get it twisted, because I don't get on like that. And no man's supposed to get on like that. A man should say, yo, I believe that we should have sex. I know things been heavy recently because we have a work life and all, but we should be having sex. We should have sex tonight. What say you? Not ask for it really and say, can we have sex? And again, bro, some women go find that off-putting or a turn off. But see, this is the thing. You have to be balanced. See, because if you go so passive, you're like, baby, can we have sex? She's going to look at you some way, right? But if you're overly aggressive, that might be a turn off for a good amount of women. But for some women, they actually like that aggressive nature. So you have to be balanced and neutral in the middle. Like, you just have to be neutral and balanced and moderate. Is me where you're giving consent, say you want to have sex with your girlfriend, but you're not asking for it. You're stating, say you want to have sex with your girlfriend. Yes or no? Again, there's some guys that maybe be listening to me right now know what I'm talking about. Like, you treat your girlfriend as if you're supposed to have sex with your girlfriend at any time you want. That's not the case no more, man. Things are changing up. This is not 1970 now or 1960. Why think you have all these laws in place for females? Why think you have all of these movements in place for females? So you have to actually adapt, I guess you could say, to how society. I'm not saying that it's supposed to be a social doormat for society or be comply with everything society says, but at the same time, you just have to be aware of yourself. But again, if some women, if they're attracted to you, they're going to excuse and allow that behavior to be passed on them, although they know it's wrong, but they still allow you to be doing it to them. But there are some women that have a cut-off point where they're not going to allow that type of behavior to be installed or be wielded on them like that. So going back to Mason Greenwood being charged, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that Mason Greenwood, because see, most persons, if them look on Mason Greenwood, them go say this virgin looks innocent. My man has a Gabriel Jesus look on his face, like his eyebrows them up here, so he looks innocent. But there's always a saying, the innocent looking ones are the most dangerous. Well, I wouldn't say Mason Greenwood is that dangerous, but when he has dangerous tendencies, but they say that the person that has the most innocent looking on them face, you have to watch them close, because you don't know what's below on the surface of how they are as a person. You're just seeing the surface, the topsoil of it. You see me? So I didn't expect this. I didn't even see this in Mason Greenwood's nature to be doing this to no female. So, but he actually has done it to the female. I've seen the video, I've listened to the voice note. It was on a Sunday morning, I just woke up and my phone was going nuts. So when I go listen to the voice note and watch a video of how her face look, I'm saying Mason, is most Mason go hire some youth to do that work. Because I don't think Mason did that. When I listen to the voice note, I listened to how his voice was. I listened to a Mason Greenwood interview. His voice was the same. And I'm saying, is Mason Greenwood this? Operate like that? I couldn't believe it. But anyway, it's been done. It is what it is. Mason Greenwood have to see this as a learning lesson. Right now, his respect has been diminished. His reputation has been diminished. As a person, Mason Greenwood is a talented football player. My man is just 22. My man hasn't, grown out of his diapers fully in football, man. And my man is doing, caveman stuff to his girlfriend, slapping her face like this is the caveman days. No, this is not the caveman days. This is not the caveman days. Things different now. Unfortunately. Again, it's a thin line, bro, because with some girls, I even gave a statement. I'm not going to say it on this video. I said it in the other video earlier this year, which I'm going to leave. I'm going to make sure that I leave it either in the description section or in one of these corners. But I basically gave a story of me relating to a girl, me and this girl at the time. But I'm going to say this, man. If you operate as if, you're begging for sex, no man should beg for sex. Let's get that straight. But if you're operating like you want sex and you're asking for it, some girls, bro, particularly some black females, because I know a few, them go look at you like you're like the weakest youth on the planet. And other girls, they might go with it. They will say, okay, you're a gentleman, you asked for it, so I guess I'm obliged to give you what you want. Yes, you asked for it. But some women, man, some women are not going to deal with that. They think it's a turn off. But you have to think of what's acceptable in society and all of that. And what is acceptable, unfortunately, again, I'm no conformist to what all of society is, because I think most of it is just bogus, but that's just me. But as it relates to this rape, bro, you have to get some consent from a woman to have sex, whether she's your girlfriend or some female you just met on the street. Not saying that she lives on the street, but like if you guys walking down on the street and you go meet her and say, hey, what's your name, and you guys, exchange information or whatever, you have to be direct, man. You can't just grab out. It's gone are the days where, yes, as a man you could probably have your way with a woman or box her up. But things are not like that now. You can serve time, lengthy periods of time in prison by doing that. So if you guys have a entitled narcissistic mentality, thinking that women are supposed to give you sex without them telling you no, then you're spoiled, man. You're a spoiled brat. You're a spoiled brat. No man deserves to give you sex just because you have a penis between your legs and you have a boatload of beard under yours. No man is supposed to give you sex. No, you can desire sex. You can want sex. But no woman on planet Earth is supposed to give you sex just because you're breathing fresh air and eating food. There are men that has gone in life without sex, whether they want it or not. That's why you have incels existing. Not every guy is having sex. And there are some guys that could have sex, but they don't want to have sex at the moment. That's why you have voluntary monks or voluntary guys that abstain and they're celibate. But not every guy is having sex. Not every guy is supposed to have sex. That's why you have weak and strong genes. Women don't want to replicate weak genes. So if they think that you have weak genes, they don't want to have sex with you. They don't want to replicate you. They don't want to copulate with you. They don't want to reproduce you. They don't want to have a baby by you. So not every guy deserves to have sex. No man, not every. No man deserves to have sex just because he's breathing. You can desire it. No, it's not like you can just come out to the woman of your mother and say, okay, I deserve sex just because I'm breathing. No. There are guys that have gone through them life without sex, whether they want it or not. Involuntarily and voluntarily. They have gone them life without sex. Species in the animal kingdom has gone them way through life without sex. That's if you're in the low and picking order. Because of course, the lions and the more bulkier animals, they get first dibs. Them get the sex from the best out of them group. And if them females getting older, them give the scraps to the guys that are missing out. That's real life. That's not just for animals. I mean, we are animals, but that's not just for animals. That's for animals. That's for humans as well. So on this thing about Mason Greenwood, without getting in, because I can't just get deep into it. Mason Greenwood messed up. He was jacked up for that. And what he did, I've lost respect for Mason Greenwood. I actually like Mason Greenwood as a player. Some persons have made comments saying that Mason Greenwood is a bit off up here, so because when Mason Greenwood started getting first team football, there was a couple of videos that were out in the spotlight of him being in some youth lap, bouncing. No, I don't care if the dude is bisexual or gay. That's not why I liked him as a football. I like him as a football player because he's a football player. He is reminiscent of how Van Persie was for Manchester United and even more so for Arsenal. And I like Van Persie. So if I see a player that plays like Van Persie, I'm going to have a liking on him because I like Van Persie. I like the natural youth. But as an individual, I don't care about the individual and what he likes and what he dislikes, whether he's gay or not. But this thing of him, being charged, he deserves every bit of it. Everything that's coming to him right now, he deserves it. If this is completely 100% true. So Mama Lip. I feel bad for Mason Greenwood, man. I ain't go shed no tear because that's why what he do was jacked up and unethical, but I'll say this. Mason Greenwood is a human being and he should be forgiven. There are persons that have done worse things than Mason Greenwood and they're not caught on it. Or somebody hasn't spoke up on it as yet. So we should forgive Mason Greenwood. We had Ryan Giggs. For all them years, my man has been banging his brother's wife or his brother's girlfriend. And he's done other heinous, creepy stuff. And persons still rate Ryan Giggs. So Mason Greenwood should be forgiven for what he's done. He's not perfect. We are humans. We all are not perfect. We are not perfect. Mason Greenwood is not perfect. We are bound to make mistakes. So him having this setback, because it's setting him back from getting games for Manchester United, doesn't mean that he has to settle in his setback. That's why it's a setback, because it's supposed to be left in the past. And going forward, he can become a new creature. All things can be passed away and he can become new. So he should be forgiven. He may not be the same person. He can change. That's why I have rehabilitation. He can change. Yes, the change is on him because he has to make the choice to change. I mean, you can bring a donkey to the water, but it's on the choice of the donkey to actually drink the water. So if Mace Greenwood wants change, he will change. But I'm saying that he should be forgiven. It's me. It's messed up for what he did. He deserves his charging, but he deserves forgiveness. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. I don't want this to be, dude. I could literally go for 2 hours. I'm not even going to be doing that. I know some of you guys have bedtime, and it's not even the week, the work week as yet. It's not even Monday night. It's not even Sunday night to go to work on Monday, and I know some of you guys have bed curfew time. So I'm allow you to go to bed early, but leave your comments down below in the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say on this Mason Greenwood issue. Comments down below, and I'll show it to you guys tomorrow. Again, you guys should know I'm not going to be watching the game against Newcastle because of football tomorrow, but I'll be I might watch the first hour of it or the first 45, the first half of it. Is because I start play football like means to 11 and I leave out like 10 o'clock thereabout. So by 10 o'clock, I'm guessing is the start of the second half. So I'll leave out. So I'll watch the first half, but I'll be doing a match reaction tomorrow. Yes, so stay on secured for that one. Again, my prediction for the Newcastle game is 3-0. Leave your predictions down below and also give me your thoughts on the Mason Greenwood issue. Do you agree with the points that I said in this video? With that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Deuce.